I'm actually Ben David. My father's name is David. Yashrak Ben David. He's a Yakima church where Yakima Indian Nation is, and we have Kennewick Man, 9,200-year-old fossil remain. And right there on the Yakima Indian Reservation, looking over the church that I'm explaining here on this YouTube, is older. How old is Mount St. Helens? Some local geology. 40,000 years approximate. Uh, I'll try to not throw too much of a temper tantrum. I am just so sick of the 6,000 year thing. I've been working on the Bible itself for years, years. So you can't even comprehend how long I've been working on this thing. Yeah, no Christian could actually, because I've been typing it. I've every translation possible. I've got more Bibles here than you've seen. There are churches in my community, and there's more churches in my community than a lot of neighborhoods have in their places. Fuck, I got a church right over there. I can walk around my neighborhood and there's church after church after church, and they're all in moral incompetence without the Bible in the schools with the 6,000 year earth. So it's just actually arrived at spending this long on 13 years going through the Bible, literally taking it out of the numerical coding and making sense out of it. And when I did that, it's more like an accordion. More like an accordion because each and every verse did not make sense with what it was saying it was for. Book. Oh, there's a word book. You know, what it is, what was it saying it for. So I am really only left with book. There's nothing in book. A very pathetic, shameful. There's nothing in book. Amazingly pathetic, shameful. You go through all of the book, and there's nothing inside of book to really make a big deal out of, right? Not a whole lot to make a big deal out of book. So what do we do? I just say, you know what? We are waiting for the final judgment. We are finally picked up at 6,000 year Earth. How could that be? How could that be that we still have it? Well, how could it be that we still have human evolution? How could it be years of age? And it also showed that science is so dumb, immoral, incompetent at going back behind themselves and finishing a theory and closing a theory 160 years with the same theory that's our fossil record, a dirty fossil record Christianity, a messy, incompetent fossil record. We don't have a fossil record because the fossil record showed that, yeah, the mammoth, but it didn't make sense. The 6,000 year legend kept mammoth. We have hills, we have geology. Doesn't make sense. The 6,000 year legend kept did not make any sense. However, made sense to me when you're staring at the hills, right? Now, reading words, yes, reading words. So 6,000 year eyes wide blind to reading words, the Bible. So I don't know how to put this other than you are just so far ridiculously foolish. But this Wikisource Bible we're working with here right now, Christian Bibles, the Wycliffe translation, 1380s. Early Wycliffe Bible, 1384. Late Wycliffe Bible, 1394. 10 years late revised. So revision to Deuteronomy. These been the words which a Moses spake to all Israel o'er Jordan. Oops, shit. Oh, that's okay. I thought I dropped this. No, but I have not. So, an incompetent rendering of it, and you and why commanded them and seed them, hear ye him, and deem them that is lust, whether it be. This is even worse. Even worse. So you have this Wikipedia wiki source apocryphatic, and all of the history. So 3410 and a prophete Roose, Roose, no more in Israel as Moises, note, and then they have an incompetent note. Whom the Lord knew face to face. The incompetent and all of the notes are as irrelevant as anything. Every note in the Bible of interpretation, it's fucking ridiculous. We're telling this the exact same story, but we're putting in our own legend. Moses, putting your own legend into the Bible. So this wiki source thing, just the Dewey Rain, all of it, it's incompetent. Then you have the Free Bible by Wikisource. It's ongoing, but I'm not sure what they're doing with it. They're sure not making sure that they're not fucking it up. General prologues. Oh, I see what they're doing. They're putting various prologues and then Daniel, Hebrew, Aramaic. Then plenty of apocrypha. The most amazing thing. This has even grown since I in I've been working on this so 13 years. This 2000 this Wikipedia Bible began at about the time I began. Uh, so they what kept gathering details on the various stuff that they found on the internet after 2006. Well, they didn't go to my website together, which has nothing on it. I think it has a picture of me on. Or let's go see what's on my website. The Let's go see what's on seventh angel scroll. Seventh. Make sure it's even up still. Yeah, it is. There's nothing there. Second Timothy 3:16. All scripture. I haven't even done anything here for a long time. Because Exodus. I can't remember what I was doing there. It doesn't really any longer matter to me. Here's the deal. It doesn't matter to me how bad you guys can't read words. 3500 BC, you invalidated every word in the Bible by not being able to determine shit like this kept going on. And not being able to determine Christians were not there really thinking about it. Christianity, not thinking about anything, nothing, 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 not keep thinking about anything. And these people also not thinking, hey, what are we doing with all of this shit? Okay. The following are part of the biblical canon and Christian denomination, so we'll make anything up we want. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55. More apocryphatics and pseudepigrapha than there are Old Testament books. More. Which came first, the apocryphatic or pseudepigraphic, or the egg? Which is stinkier? Well, that you have John Wycliffe to begin with. Which is more fun? There's too much here. I don't want to fuck around with all of this. This is all beautiful stuff, and yet, warning: you are not okay. Oh, I hit edit. Why did it? Oh, that must. Okay, prayer of creating translation, wisdom of Jesus, son of Sirach. Yep. So it's like 8 books of Maccabees now. These are not yet done yet. Please write more in. Maccabees. They're not yet done. They're not yet done. Please write more in. Well, there's over 200,000 little name references to say you need a few more. I like this. At least they got the Maccabees in a few places. I mean, they got up to 8 Maccabees, which is cool. Known about. So why are they wasting your time? Same as cult organization. Why are they wasting their time typing, giving no value, giving no value, no value, no value, no value? You're wasting your time gathering things on the apocryphatics and interpreting the Bible as those are just out there kind of special. They're all special ed, special, immoral, incompetent, special ed, distance in time after the year 3500 BC. The Christian religion with the 4000 or October 23, 4004, or any of the other interpretations that they can't figure out what millennium it is. It is literally can't figure out what millennium it is because the Bible has been in print and they can't figure out what it said. Literally. And they can't figure out why the people still have it. and they can't figure it out. And they can't figure it out. I'm so sick and tired of the immoral, incompetent Christians. It's an immoral. It's an incompetent. It is dumb. I took a nap, and that moron who broke into my house, pastor, of course, moron. Too dumb to read words with that legend. Fat retard, fat, overweight, overbearing dipshit, unhealthy, ugly wife, ugly wife, really ugly. I mean, I'd rather have a great ape than her, to be honest. Ugly, dumb. At least a great ape is an animal that you could train. You know, a wife who is too dumb to keep her husband from breaking into a house. That's a typical Christian wife. Where will you be left at? Well, that little bitch over there's in hell. That's just stupid. That's just immoral. As immoral dumb as thinking God magically poofed 6,000 years ago. God magically poofed 6,000 years ago. God magically poofed. It's, what do I say? And most of this shit's just irrelevant. It has nothing. It's beauty, but you don't know it. And most of it's not readable. So, and never again did there arise in Israel like Moses, whom Yahweh knew face to face. Literally mouth. Literally mouth. How could they get face to face? Literally, who Yahweh literally knew mouth. Gee, I wonder if that would be a naming convention situation of who the fuck's Yahweh? Yahweh. Is that even inappropriate? Nah, not really. Hashem. Yahweh is one of those you can't figure out the letter Z is not you. Translate. Too far gone. Hebron left. Let's just see what Yahweh actually gives you with Hebron left. Make sure. Yeah, Yahweh. Yahweh. Chiki. Whatever. Chiki. Denel. Law. Enough. No land. From there, yep. There's so much information from there that for some reason you were too immoral. That's the easiest that I'm going with a 6,000 year legend trying to get this thing into, wow, what did you get wrong? Well, that face to face, you didn't run scared shitless from seeing God, Moses face to face. You couldn't understand, so it's literally mouth. So they put literally mouth rather than run scared shitless from it saying face to face and them not knowing what it meant. But I'm saying that left you in hell, being too dumb not to run scared shitless from face to face. And then you got every translation down from the White Cliffs all the way through all of their shit, right? And all of the more apocryphatics that showed to you that the entire Old Testament was irrelevant with the other shit. And you're all crazy. You're all way too gone and way too far. And why are they typing it? They're typing great apes, like just like cult members. Typing great apes. You're all typing great apes in the year 2020. So yes, you are all crazy, batshit crazy, batshit crazy, batshit crazy, batshit crazy. Typing great apes can't figure out what millennium it is, including science. So science can't even figure out what millennium it is, right? Science can't figure out what millennium it is because the church can't figure out what millennium it is. All of the contributors, contributions, however you want to say it, everything, everything, everything. Well, no, not everything. We can all try again. But doing it right meant that you got to figure out which verse in the Bible you did not interpret properly and then did not redact properly and did not translate properly and did not do anything properly. Well, it happened that be that one verse, that face to face, run fucking shit scared. You don't know what it said. And you got a cult over there that says it doesn't mean what it says. Face to face, as friends, got a footnote. Face to face as friends, they're not running scared shitless of that was friendly, but it's not very friendly to be a type in grade 8. So they didn't run that shit scared of face to face God. And then they said, Yahweh, Yahweh, Yahweh. The moral incompetent typing grade apes after the year 3500 BC can't figure out what the Bible actually said or contained or didn't say or did not contain. Well, it didn't contain anything that you thought it did, except it had everything to not do. It's all apocrypha. It best looks like this, handwritten notes around what it should look like. This is a Gideon apocryphal, a Gideon apocryphal Bible. See, there's a lot more words. Apocryphal Book of Galatians, analyzed through the Apocrypha and redaction of the 1611 Gideon King James Bible Apocrypha. 500-year exchange for a 6,000-year legend of church. 2020 legend of internet. The majority of scholars see the Book of Galatians had been written between 40s after death and early 50s, although some date the original copies to 50 to 60. Paul's death unknown, but tradition held Paul had been beheaded in Rome and thus died as a martyr. 2020 equals legend. Paul dying as a martyr is a legend. Him changing his name from Saul to Paul is not a legend because you got it in your books. Hey, I'm going to show up and change my name. 1976 Apocryphal Bible. Apocryphal 17th century open eyes historical data Renaissance era monarchy Elizabeth Terrell born 1619 16.6 years of age monarchy 1610 record kept at London City peasant girl showed reaching monarchy 27 later. That's 26, 27 up and in the 1600s. That goes right with my uh, my concubinical relationship elsewhere, who smart enough to speak with her about the health of her back in the day. I haven't. It was many years ago, but what did you do? Spent 6 months with her, and we got to know each other. And you gather that information because it's that type of information. Do you have an STD? Do you have a health? Do I need to know anything in your health? Hey, it's appropriate for me as a partner, as a lover, as whatever, to share this information for us to learn about it, to know each other, and to utilize that information for making sure that we're okay. So I've got these all like this. I just haven't gone through them yet. All taped up. It's all apocryphal. We just haven't finished. I got sidetracked to start recording myself. Been working on this for so long because I had to take it. There's nothing in the Bible but take it apart around it being an invalid and start over again. There's nothing in the Bible but you interpreted every word wrong because you kept at 6,000 year Earth legend book. 6,000 year Earth legend book, nothing in this. Until the master of the house. What is that? That's the 6,000 year legend book master. That would be Ben David. Tell so you have all of these references. Where's Jesus? And he said to them, have you never read what David did when he was in need and was hungry? Have you never read what David did when he was hungry while you're going without food? With the 6,000 year earth, have you never read what David did? More Wikisource apocryphatics than books of the Bible. Have you never read what David did, little children, little children, little children? Apparently not, because I'm calling you little children. You shall not sacrifice to the Lord your God a bull or sheep which has any blemish or defect, for that is an abomination to the Lord your God. Face to face, you shall not sacrifice to face a bull or sheep. So, there face to face, you shall not sacrifice to me a bull or a sheep. Why not? And they were still doing it after they were. He was pretty fucking specific. Firstborn, without blemish. Don't. So you have to think, why without blemish? What did it mean without blemish? Well, that animal had to. You could not utilize the worst of your flock. I'm going to give away. He always wanted the first and the best. Face to face guy looking Moses face to face. God, Moses face to face. I want the first. I want the best. If there is found among you, if who has been wicked in the sight of the Lord, in transgressing his covenant, knowing how to read words, and has gone and served other gods and worshipped them, either the sun or the moon or any of the hosts of heaven, which I have not commanded. You know, Moses woke up one morning and he began he worshipped the sun, and then they said that's not. They said that I'm not getting anything from it, so I'm going to move to the moon. Abraham, one of those guys in the Apocryphas, I think it was not. I forget too many, which I have not commanded. So you see this face-to-face thing taking God out of the Bible because John 1:18. No one's ever seen God. Worthless book. No one ever has ever seen you on Facebook admit that you don't know how to read words either. Christians, you don't know how to read words. No one's ever seen God. There's 2 verses in the Bible you don't fuck with, and if you don't run scared of never fucking them up, you end up with your pulpit preachers saying God doesn't exist. Christianity at John 1:18, your false interpretation, all of your invalids, all of your Bibles, everyone, 6,000 year Earth Bible, 5,500 year Earth Bible, world without in Bibles, the Wiccan Bible, the Gideon Bible, all of them. If it doesn't say face to face, run scared, doesn't say face to face, left you in hell, doesn't say that, you're pretty much fucked. God and Moses face to face as friends. It's the only way to interpret how you got left way out there. God and Moses face to face as friends, so you have more apocryphal versions of books that you don't even know that don't exist because you don't exist because your Bible doesn't exist. You personally do not exist. Type in Great Ape over there. Wikisource Bible contributions don't exist because they don't run scared of that verse. God and Moses face to face as friends. The Bible told us no one could see that verse. The Bible told you personally, Christian, that you could not see that verse because the pulpit preaching a sermon, demonic sermon with the legend of compilation of authorship, compilation of ignorance through time, compilation of use, ignorance of continuation after it was invalid. It wasn't a valid book. It wasn't a valid book. It wasn't a valid book. So you've always had a legend of 6,000 year Earth Messiah guy who's going to return. Do you want him to return or not, Christians? I'd say you don't. I wouldn't want him. Not with your current incompetency of having this book in print still. You don't want him to return. You don't want him to return. Not with your incompetency of your knowledge of this book and how poorly you did with it. Not with your incompetencies. You with this book, waiting for Jesus to return, you invalidated this when he told you to take him off of the cross. You invalidated this. His instruction, true guy, false Messiah guy, instructed you to take him off of the cross in order to recognize that your teacher didn't know what the fuck he was talking about. Take him off the cross, take him out of his book. Figure out what his book said. The book of the genealogy, Messiah ben David, Messiah ben Yosef is not ben David. So me and my daddy's name is David. To shut down the church I was baptized in, Baptist. The closure of the Baptist church systems because you're too incompetent teachers in hell. The book of, should I type it for you or dictate it to you? The genealogy of 6,000-year legend. Now you pray to my dog, the son of David, the son and Davidic covenant, and the rest of the book is invalid. The Jesus was the son of Joseph, neither David. It was wobbling there. So Jesus was the son of Joseph, not David, and he was born of a virgin birth. The way of life winds upward for the wise, that he may turn away from hell below. Folly is joy to him who is destitute of discernment, but a man understanding walks uprightly. Without counsel, plans go awry, but in the multitude of counselors they are established. You're entirely wow. Consider the work of God, for who can make straight what he has made crooked? Who can make straight what he has made crooked? In the day of prosperity, be joyful. In the day of figuring out that God and Moses figuring it out. So this holy apocryphal, you can do whatever you want with it. You can do it whatever you want with it. Don't have to figure it out. But since then there is not arisen in Israel a prophet like Moses, whom the Lord knew face to face. Let's go back and fuck with Yahweh a little bit. The Lord Yahweh, how's that work out? Yahweh is Yodevaveh, which is Jehovah, which is Lord, which is God, the existing God of passion, but you don't read it. And then Lord, there's Yahweh. So Yahweh is in here, Yahweh, self, but you got to take God out of it and leave God in it there and see that God's in it twice, and you get Yahweh from Jehovah. Then you get J, passion, God, Jehovah, God, the existing God of passion. When you add your knowledge of it. Uh, huh, just straight. He starts talking to me in this. Just straight. God, the existing God of passion. God, the existing God of passion. 28 or 26, however many. Um, rendered the English translations from Greek completely. Man, look at where you got. You got everything and everything wrong. You have a Greek Jesus at the letter J. J, 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 J. Okay, it was invalidated the entire internet at the letter J. Invalidated my work, invalidated God and Moses face to face. Actually invalidates your brain. I'm letting you know because you guys can't figure out your Bible contained that statement and didn't run scared for that book being compiled wrong. There's nothing in the book, but don't grow up to become you, a grade 8. Don't be as immature, stupid as with not being able to figure out 500 years. Grade apes, the Earth's older than 6,000 years of age. And at 6,000 years of age, the book began. The book began and didn't tell you it didn't begin there. The book actually began 4,000 years ago, 6,000 years ago, sorry. 6,000 years ago, the book did not begin until Genesis chapter 4. Right there. You have 4 to figure out that Genesis chapter 5 or 4 began at 4,000 on the dot when October 23, 4004 BC was a hypothesis as to that timing. October 23, 4004, 6,000 years ago, improved, bunches, approximates. Yeah, we approximated everything in geology because it's all approximates. Why would you be looking for 7 supercontinents if you can't take care of one, science? Yeah, Pangea right there, and you can't teach 25% of the world that there was this supercontinent here, and now you have the Grand Canyon. Science, what's wrong with you? Because a river dug the entire basin as compared to the Grand Canyon slowly pulled apart. You had to look for a river digging the entire basin. The river, which didn't, which did in part. Yes, there's erosion all through 4.543 billion years, if not longer. There's erosion, or if not shorter, because the timestamp, Howell's the Great Fire London, not that one. No, they're all dumb. They're all dumb. How old's the White Cliffs of Dover? Well, we estimated pretty old. How's that work with 6 million? Only 6 million years. Only 6 million years. Only 6 million years that great apes grew up to become you personally, because they didn't grow up to become me. No great ape in all world history grew up to become me. Ever. No great ape grew up to become me. No great ape grew up because you lost ancestral origin of 2 incompetent humans to figure out that the Earth's older than 6,000 years of age. 2 stupid humans to figure out what words meant. No ape grew up tendency to figure out what those words meant. Apes grew up to become you, and they're still scurrying around the zoo and trying to figure out what's going on with you, because they're like, why aren't you yet evolved down to being shorter, able to climb trees better? Incompetent humans. Looks like a great ape. I don't look like a great ape. My hair didn't start here and then over 6 million years, I just dyed out my skin from Africa and less ape hair on my forehead. That's dumb. 6 million years to get no hair on my forehead from looking like an ape. 6 million years and apes still climb trees. 6 million years for me. That's fucking creative. 6 million years to look at a struggle for life that did not exist. A struggle for life that did not exist 10,000 years ago. But while all the living animals shared a common language, a common speech during the time before, as Vesuvius is pretty close to the time stamping of shit that happened later that looks like the story in the Bible of the which one was that? Back. Let's grab that. Can't use this one to figure out because that story's not there. See, if you can't complement you can't figure out what the stories meant together by taking the stories apart, you're going to end up with a corrective point, which would be at the science that we broke the earth. We broke the earth with the Bible. We broke the earth with the Bible. These are the generations of the sons of Noah. No. Then some naming. Sem, Cam, and Japheth. And unto them were sons were born after the flood. So, not understanding that meant that was an apocryphal story that God and Moses wrote down, a separate entity. It's not a book. It's not a story in Genesis. You got it wrong. It's an individual. By these were divided the islands of all the Gentiles in their lands, everyone according to his tongue and their families and their nations. Chapter 10. You take this thing literal, young earth magic poofs, 6,000 year earth. 6,000 year earth, literalists. So, talking animals and get out of a boat with talking animals and a local flood. And then what? By these divided the islands of the Gentiles in their lands, everyone according to their tongue and their families and their nations. That's their languages, according to their tongue. Is that hard for English redactors figuring out what that meant? Page 2. So 3 times, because 3 different boys with their sisters went, or they picked up and their wives, the women that they had sex with, and then children produced. If you don't have God, you don't know what this book meant. 3 times. Divided. Boundary shifters. Into the Dead Sea Scrolls you talked about. You shifted your boundaries. You went for a false boundary. A book, a 3500 BC boundary, a 4000 BC boundary, a world without end boundary, and you're both not really competent enough to figure out reality between the two of you. Christianity is too incompetent to figure out reality with science, and science in the year 2020 is too incompetent to figure out reality with Christianity because the science is a leeching, repetitive cycle of continue to have a job and learn something, because a world without end and a shitload of stuff to learn, and 25% of you are left in 6,000 years Earth legend. 25% of you are left, ignoring that it's too late. It's actually too late to. This thing is too far gone, too late. It's too far in the future from this story to go back and figure out that that was the literal. You'll never know. The island nations, it's all anonymous data. The sons of Shem, Ham, and Japheth, spelled incorrectly and placed kind of weird. The various flood narratives, reconnecting, did that wobble. The various flood narratives, the various everything, kids, everything. To read the Bible, the Old Testament, you got to understand the entire story, and oddly enough, the entire story is ignore everything. All of those books of prophecies, that's all ignorant typing in that book. All ignorant apocryphal unions. I don't know why you have the book of Job next to where it is and not in right next to Jesus saying, watch out for the Dead Sea Scrolls. The book of Job, a legend of time, a legend of stamping, and a legend of ignorant, motherfucking, retarded, senile, bald idiots who don't think. Teachers. 2 Timothy 4:3-4. Okay, Pastor, you want to keep 6,000 year legends kept? Got a worthless book. Worthless book. I'm going to go to bed. It's shameful. Shameful. Thanks.